It has been a busy hour as we continue to follow this breaking news and continuing coverage of the investigation into a string of shootings around Raleigh. 2 people detained now in the last hour after a home was raided in West Raleigh. We're going to show you some Sky 5 video showing the massive scene unfolding on Kentford Road. That is the person of interest taken into custody. There is another person detained as well. Raleigh police are telling us there have now been 12 incidents since Monday. 8 cars and 4 homes hit by bullets. 1 woman was hurt, but
this is the area we're
no one else not hurt.
Yeah, this area we're talking about, right around the Raleigh area. The person was taken into custody not far from Lake Wheeler Road and Tryon Road, right there, not far from NC State and I-40. Sky 5 was over the scene during our 4 o'clock news when Raleigh police made that arrest. So far, no word on the charges of this person or these people, since there are 2 people who were detained. We don't know about the charges yet. Chelsea Donovan has been on this all afternoon, and she joins us live. Chelsea, some information from Chief Patterson about the people who have been detained, though not much more than the fact that 1 person is a person of interest and 2 people were detained.
Right. Of course, we're now able to make that correlation from these 12 different incidents to this neighborhood here off of Tryon Road, right near 40. And that all happened right here. You can see that SWAT team still in place here off of Rainford and Kentford Court. This is right off of Trailwood Hills. This is a quiet community right off of Tryon Road. We were actually sitting in the car when we started to see the SWAT teams suit up with their long guns and their flashbangs. And I want to show you some of that video if we can play that, Morgan. You can actually kind of see them going into action. I'm going to pause so you guys can hear this. Okay, so obviously those are what are known as flashbangs. It's another way to make entry into a home. We believe it is this kind of baby blue gray house where that vehicle is sitting in front of. And now we know that 2 people have been detained at this location. It's interesting in listening to Chief Patterson, these are persons of interest that are now in custody and detained. It doesn't mean that they have been arrested for these 12 different incidents that have now spanned the course of 4 days. I want to show you who they were talking about. If we can go up to Sky 5 from that video that we captured hovering over this scene, and you can see at least 1 person there that was handcuffed by Raleigh police. So this is good news, at least for now, that we're seeing sort of possibly a conclusion to this crime spree. 12 different incidents between cars and homes that were shot into. Luckily, no one was injured when you see some of this video of people's, cars shot into, narrowly missing them as they are traveling on their way to work or school or what have you.
Chelsea, talk about that scene where you are now. You did speak with a resident who was in the shower when those flashbangs went off. Have you had a chance to speak with any of the other residents about this particular incident, this excitement, if you want to call it that, in their neighborhood?
Yeah, just a second ago, I was speaking to a gentleman who was actually tuning his piano when he heard those bangs come out or bangs happen, and then he came out to see all of this police presence in this neighborhood. And if you look around, you can still see there's a lot of folks still out here. You can see this group of people here. There are a lot of young folks and families just really kind of concerned and, of course, curious as to what's taking place in their neighborhood. Obviously, a lot of people are wondering what's going on. Is there anybody hurt? And so now we're knowing that this was a location where 2 people were detained, just a few moments ago as we were coming to you live on the air.
You know, Chelsea, everywhere I seem to go, people were talking about these shootings on I-40 especially, which more than 100,000 people drive in that area each and every day. So it is a very busy area, people on edge. And you talked to that gentleman who was taking the shower, Shane, I believe his name was, also talking about how, you come to expect you are in a very safe part of Raleigh, safe part of North Carolina, and yet this has really had some people on edge.
Absolutely. And I don't know if we have the video from earlier today from the Trailwood shooting where a gentleman was riding on Trailwood coming around the bend right in front of Centennial campus when his car was shot right below his driver's side mirror. Again, narrowly missing him. These are folks that are just going to work, minding their own business. I spoke to another I-40 victim who lives in Butner. He was getting on I-40 and just heading towards Holly Springs when he sees a vehicle come up near him. All of a sudden, his windshield is blown out. His passenger window is blown out. And he thought, what is going on? Is there a hunter? Is there something going on? Did my tire explode? Did something backfire? So obviously, these are incidents that are startling and that were continuing to happen for 4 different days before hopefully they have found the person or persons at least responsible for this. So this can kind of ease some fears of folks using, as you mentioned, one of the biggest highways in the nation to get to where they're going to go.
Yeah, a lot of us have some questions about why this happened, so hopefully we will learn more new information soon. Chelsea Donovan, live in West Raleigh. Thank you, Chelsea. By the way, there is a reward of up to $10,000 for information about these shootings. So if anyone knows anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
I think the fact that people didn't know what happened and why it was happening, that's the scary part.
Yeah.
I remember back in D.C. in 2002 when the D.C. sniper was going around. That's
too.
the first thing that came to my mind, having lived through that. But we're glad to see that there's an arrest here. Sean Gallagher, we're talking about that Trailwood Road incident near I-40. Sean, you spoke with people who say that they were worried for their own safety when they're just driving down the road.
Yeah, Gerald, and their concerns stem from the lack of information that they got from RPD. Even today, during their press conference that they held just down the road about this most recent NC State campus shooting, they said there was no credible threat in the area, but we now know that that shooting was connected to the other 11 in the area, and during that time, this person was still on the loose.
It was a massive footprint near NC State's campus, 2 scenes straddling I-40. Initially, RPD revealing little information about this shooting.
We have not linked this to any other incidents.
But confirmed within the last hour, this shooting is connected to 11 others this week on I-40 and elsewhere in the area, which has been alarming to many people who travel this spot.
It's definitely scary thinking about driving to school.
It's only terrifying because the lack of knowledge of it.
Sean Lee has been battling a cold this week, so he hasn't been traveling as much, and it makes him feel lucky because of the lack of information about this string of a dozen shootings.
Well, it's for this to be going on for 3 days is just kind of insane.
And his message for police?
To find them, man, to get it solved, it's crazy, definitely. But yeah, hopefully they just, can gather, as much intel as they can, and try to solve the crime as quick as possible, and just get this man off the streets because, our lives are precious and obviously they're at stake right now.
And people like Sean Lee breathing a little easier tonight knowing that there was an arrest made. And I actually just got off the phone with Mayor Mary Ann Baldwin. She shares that same relief, saying that she is very proud of RPD with how they handled this. She feels that they did an exceptional job with this situation. And she, just like everybody else, is glad that someone's in custody. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News in Raleigh.
From the WRAL Live Center this afternoon, Raleigh police did share that new information just in the past hour that we're talking about 12 shooting incidents altogether this week. So we put them on a map so you could see exactly where they were. This star here indicates the neighborhood where those 2 people were detained just a little while ago. The story starts on Monday where we had shots fired into 2 vehicles, I-40 at Chapel Hill Road and I-40 at Buck Jones Road. And this one at Chapel Hill Road is where that woman was hit. That's the only injury in all of these so far. Wednesday, 8 incidents reported, including 4 shots fired into homes not too far from the neighborhood where those 2 people were taken into custody this afternoon. And then today, of course, those 2 shots fired into vehicles, 2 reports of that on Trailwood Drive. So you can see that whole string of shootings there right along I-40 in Raleigh certainly put a lot of people on edge this week.
Absolutely. And it's important to note that Chief Patterson did once again mention that $10,000 reward. People may have information about this, they just don't know it. They may have a mark on their car that came from one of these bullets. Contact Raleigh Police. There's a $10,000 reward. They need all the information they can get in this case.